Welcome back to our grammar series. Today, we're going to build on everything we've already learned about adjectives by adding 3 new, really useful types to our toolkit. By the end of this, you'll be using them like a pro.
All right, first things first. Before we jump into the new stuff, let's do a quick warm-up just to remember what the main job of any adjective is.
Take a look at this sentence. The boy is standing. Now, it's a perfectly good sentence. It's grammatically correct. But it's a little plain, isn't it? It doesn't really paint a picture in your mind.
But now, look what happens when we just add 2 little words. The tall, quiet boy is standing. All of a sudden, you can picture him way more clearly, can't you? Those 2 words, tall and quiet, are our adjectives, and they've totally transformed the sentence.
And that's the whole point. Adjectives make our language more precise, more descriptive. Their main job is simply to give us more information about a noun or a pronoun. So with that fresh in our minds, let's learn our first new type.
Okay, let's dive into our first category, adjectives that help us ask questions. These are called interrogative adjectives.
Their job is actually pretty simple. They just modify a noun to help us ask a question about it. Think of them as the words that pinpoint exactly what it is we're curious about.
And here they are. The 3 main interrogative adjectives you're going to use are what, which, and whose. Let's see them in action.
In this example, which pen is yours? The word which is our interrogative adjective. See how it comes right before the noun pen? It's asking a question specifically about that noun. And it's the exact same idea here. In whose bag is missing, the adjective whose is asking a question about the owner of the noun bag. Simple enough, right?
Okay, now this is where things get a little bit tricky, but it's also really interesting. These same words, what, which, and whose, can sometimes be pronouns instead of adjectives. So let's look at the one simple rule you need to know to tell them apart. Here's the key. It is only an interrogative adjective if it's immediately followed by a noun. In which pen, which is an adjective modifying pen. But look at the other side. Which is yours? Here, which stands all alone. It's replacing the noun, which makes it a pronoun. So just remember that connection. For it to be an adjective, it needs a noun right next to it.
All right, let's move on to our next type. These are adjectives that help us talk about the members of a group, but one at a time. We call these distributive adjectives.
The name distributive actually gives us a really good clue. It's like these adjectives distribute our focus to each person or thing in a group separately, instead of talking about the group as a whole. And these are the big 4 you're going to see most often. Each, every, either, and neither. Let's take a look at how they work. In the sentence, each student received a notebook, that word each really emphasizes that we're thinking about the students individually. You know, student 1 got a notebook, then student 2 got a notebook, then student 3, and so on.
And in this one, neither answer is correct. We're talking about 2 possible answers. The adjective neither tells us that we're considering them one by one, and that not the first one and not the second one is correct.
Now, this is a really, really important grammar rule to remember. Because these adjectives focus on things one at a time, they have to be followed by a singular noun and a singular verb. For example, we say each student is happy, not each student are happy. That's a super common mistake, so definitely keep an eye out for it.
All right, we're on to our third and final new type for today. These are adjectives that are actually formed from very specific names, and we call them proper adjectives.
So what makes them so special? Well, they are born from proper nouns. And you probably remember that proper nouns are the specific names we give to people, places, or things, like India, Shakespeare, or Paris.
Just like the proper nouns they come from, proper adjectives have one rule that you can absolutely never, ever break. They always have to start with a capital letter, no exceptions.
This slide shows the transformation perfectly. You see how the proper noun India becomes the proper adjective Indian? Now we can use it to describe something like an Indian temple. Same goes for China becoming Chinese, as in Chinese food. It's a direct, really useful conversion. Hey, can you think of one for your own country?
That was great work. You've just learned 3 new adjective types. Let's put them all together now in one summary chart to really lock in that knowledge.
So, here it is, your complete toolkit from today. We have interrogative adjectives to ask questions like which book? We have distributive adjectives to focus on individuals in a group, like each person.
And we've got proper adjectives that come from names and always get a capital letter, like Chinese food.
You've now learned about several different kinds of adjectives. But what happens when we want to use more than one to describe the same noun? Is there a correct order? Yes, there is. And we'll cover exactly what that order is in our next explainer. See you then.